Hi, it's Alyssa Bryden with Virtual Heights Accounting. Today I'm going to walk you through how to fill out the TD1 Ontario form. It's your personal tax credits information form, and you probably received this from a new employer. This form is essential for determining your provincial tax deductions, and it is required by your employer. They're also required to get a federal TD1 form as well, so you should be completing both. But in this video, we will go over how to complete the Ontario form. So let's get started. First, let's look at the top section of the form up here. This is where you're going to fill out your personal information. So, and add in your last name, your first name. Again, this should all match to what the Canada Revenue Agency has on file. So it should, if you generally go by your middle name, but have a different first name, for example, do use your legal first name here. It should match whatever the Canada Revenue Agency has for your social insurance number. Employee number is actually provided by your employer. So you can, if they haven't provided a number or it doesn't come pre-filled, you likely can leave this box blank, but you're going to have to fill out all the other ones here, including address, and do put your mailing as well as your physical address as well. So if you have a post office box, put that, but also put your street address. And taking a look, if you are a non-resident, and that means that you, generally speaking, live in or have permanent residence in another country, you're only here for temporary visa, something like that, do put your country of permanent residence here. All right, so let's moving on to the different claim amounts. Each of these lines will help you reduce the amount of taxes deducted from your income, specifically for Ontario taxes. Okay, so we'll walk through each of these. Every individual in Ontario gets to claim their basic personal amount, which is $12,399. That means in Ontario, you won't actually pay Ontario tax if your income is less than that amount. So it automatically gets filled in here. The only situation where you might not be able to claim this is if you do have more than one employer, you can only claim your personal credits once. That is going to show up on the next page here, which we'll go over in a moment. But if you have more than one employer at a time, you cannot claim that. You'll actually then claim zero for that, and you won't include any totals on this form in box 10 if you've already claimed them through another employer. And instead, you would put zero in this box 10 where the total claim is. The age amount, if you're 65 or older on December 31st, 2024, in this case, your net income will be $45,068 or less. You can enter the full age amount, which is $6,054. If your net income is between $45,068 and $85,428, use the worksheet provided on page 2 to calculate the partial amount. Also note that you are not required to claim the credits. If you're unsure what your age amount calculation will be, you also can opt to just claiming zero, not claiming any of the age amount. That means you'll pay a little bit of extra taxes here, but when you file your personal tax return, you will actually claim the age amount on there, and you'll get back any extra taxes paid as a refund. So that is also a consideration. For your pension income amount, if you receive regular pension payments, enter the lesser of 1,714 or your estimated annual pension income. So that's on box 3 here. Disability, if you qualify for a disability amount using Form 2201 and CRA has approved that certificate and has it on file, you can enter that $10,017 here. That's the amount for 2024. If you claim it for a spouse, that is not claimed up here, but instead is considered an amount transferred from a dependent. Okay, so next, spouse or common law partner amount. If you support or a spouse or common law partner and their net income is $1,053 or less, you can enter $10,528. If their net income is between $1,053 and $11,581, you can use the worksheet on page 2 to calculate the partial amount. If you're not sure, because maybe it's at the beginning of the year and maybe they aren't working yet, but they may later in the year, you also, again, can opt to claim 0, just fill in 0. And then when you actually complete your personal taxes, you can adjust there for the actual amount that you're able to claim. Amount for a eligible dependent. If you support an eligible dependent and meet the conditions, you can enter $10,528. Use the worksheet for partial payments if the income is between the different amounts noted. Ontario caregiver amount for those supporting an eligible infirm dependent age 18 or older. Calculate the amount using the worksheet on page 2. So again, this is if you meet that specific requirement, there is an amounts to claim, and their details are on the next page. Line 9 or line 8, I guess we'll start with. If your spouse or common law partner doesn't use all their age, pension, income, or disability amounts, you can enter the unused amounts here. Line 9, amounts transferred from a dependent. If your dependent doesn't use all their disability amounts, as I mentioned, enter it there. And line 10 is the total. So anything you've entered here, fill in on box. Add up, and that total is what you include in box 10. So if you are unsure on any of these ones in here, and you're not quite sure what you can claim or what you will be eligible for, either because you're mid-year and the year hasn't completed yet, you don't know where things will be at, you can opt to, we recommend just putting 0 in that case. That means that they will, your employer will deduct and remit taxes for you based on the amounts that you've provided here. But as mentioned, when you actually complete your personal tax return and you file your personal taxes for the year, you will then be refunded based on your actual claim amount. So don't worry if you're missing something here that you actually are eligible for and determine you are eligible for later. You do still have your personal taxes to claim it on. This is only for remitting, and you do want to be careful because you do not want to under remit, because that will also flag things if you under remit based on something you think is going to happen that doesn't. So do fill this out carefully. Most situations, we generally only see the basic personal claim, or if there's multiple employers, as it indicates here, more than one employer at a time, you can only claim the basic personal and all the other credits from one employer. So if you have 3 employers and you have 3 T4s coming, you would complete this for one of them and ensure that the credits are claimed for that one, and the others you would mark this box and you would not claim any credits for. The next box, total income is less than the total amount claimed. If all of your income from all your multiple employers is going to be under that threshold, $12,399, or the threshold that you have calculated in your box, because maybe you have some age amounts or things like that, then you can click that box. If your income will be less than that, that means your employer will not take any taxes. And that means if you did do that wrong, you will owe a bunch of taxes at year end, and also be flagging CRA because if things weren't remitted that should have been. So make sure you are only ticking that box if you will be under that income amount. All right, and then you sign here and date it, and you can provide this to your employer, and now you've completed your TD1 form for Ontario, and you can also complete the TD1 form for federal as well with the similar guidelines on that.